All right, we're here at Dakota Subaru Experts in Bismarck, North Dakota. Today is December 12th, 2025. Kind of got a glare from the light. Do the best I can here. But what we're doing here is documenting the process of getting this 2010 Subaru Forester back up and running. So that's what I always like to educate people on is, a lot of people ask me, Tanner, how long will my Subaru last? That's, obviously anything can happen, but if you stay up to date on your scheduled maintenance, if it starts overheating, a lot of people like to go and do, thermostat, put a new radiator in it, waste all this time and money. 99% of the time, it usually is head gaskets. So, Subarus are notorious for that, especially if they've never been done before. And I think it's, has a lot to do with just the boxer design. And then, how manufacturers are, they want to make money. I think from factory, they put cheap head gaskets in it. But besides that, timing belt, this is the EJ25 engine that we're swapping out. So this has a timing belt. The newer engines are a FB25. Those actually have two timing chains. But staying on topic here, timing belt on these things every 75 to 100,000 miles. And then staying on top of your oil changes. Subarus, if you do that stuff, take care of it right away, and then stay on top of your oil changes. I've seen these things run literally, I've seen one 750,000 miles. This was 10 years ago, or 11 years ago, because right out of high school, I actually got a job it was Cooper Subaru at that time in Mandan, and it was a Subaru Outback. I want to say it was an older one, like a 99, early 2000s, but it had 750,000 on it. It was a mail car. But yeah, they said that they only put one engine in it, and that was at like 250,000 miles because they didn't change their oil. And then they said after that, they just stayed on top of the maintenance, changed the oil on time, and it lasted almost 1 million miles. But this is a 2010 Forester. It only has 155,000 miles on it. I think it does have a slight hail damage like on the hood. I think the sides, the doors and panels are maybe a little bit, normal wear and tear for a car this old, but overall it's in pretty good shape. Tires are also brand new on it. Those were put on just right before the engine went out. And then once I get this engine in it, we'll get over there in a second and I'll explain what's going on. But once I get the engine in it, I'll go drive it and make sure there's no check engine lights or any funny noises. Subarus are notorious for wheel bearings in general, but usually rear wheel bearings going out. So once we're driving it and going down the road, we'll listen for that. And then I always like to check the CV axles, make sure the boots aren't torn or leaking or anything. So basically I'll go through the whole thing, but just want to show you where we're at right now. So this is an EJ25 out of a 2011 Subaru Outback. Funny story, I actually did head gaskets in this one about 2 years ago, sold the car, and then recently the guy got T-boned, so the whole passenger side was smashed. I ended up buying it back, mainly for the engine and transmission, different parts and stuff. So only thing I'm going to do now is just re-gasket the oil pan. Well, actually, I have to swap out oil pans. Those are slightly different. You can see this one has this thing, and then this is the actual pan. And then the one that we're going to be putting on it is the one off of this engine. We'll get it nice and cleaned out and everything, but you can kind of see how it's the whole entire pan. That one's got a spacer in between, and then just a little pan. So in order for that engine to work and the exhaust to fit, we have to swap over that, and then also the valve covers. So these have spark plug wires that go directly in and then connect to a coil that is on the back of the intake manifold right here. And then the Outback, that one has what's called coil on plug. So each cylinder basically has its own coil. So right now that's what we're working on, getting all that swapped out along with the flex plate. So make sure that's the right one before we put it in. Ask me how I know to double check that. And then, yeah, after that, It'll have new valve cover gaskets and then tube seals, and then regasket the oil pan. I already checked the timing and everything. Head gaskets were done on this about 30,000 miles ago, and timing belt, so everything is solid there, but already double checked, made sure the belt isn't cracking or anything. And then we'll also get new, I'll clean all this up, resurface it. We'll get new intake gaskets, valve cover gaskets, tube seals, regasket the oil pan, then new spark plugs. All right, we got the oil pan off. We're getting that all cleaned out, and then we're gonna put both of these in we have an ultrasonic parts cleaner, and shake it and make sure everything, is nice and clean in there. But thankfully, when this engine blew up, it just went pretty quick. Looks like the rod just went straight through the block and then it quit. One thing we are gonna replace though is this oil pickup tube. So we're gonna go run over to Subaru and get a new one of those put in. Get the pan on, get everything sealed up, and then we'll swap over the valve covers, and then it'll be time to put it in the car. All right, we just got back from Subaru. Got a new oil pickup tube. Get that installed, get it all put together. All right, we've got our oil pan all cleaned up. Got the surface re-cleaned up. We're gonna put a new gasket down, new oil pickup tube, oil filters on. Let's slap the oil pan on. Black. Why you never sleep right. All right, new valve cover gasket. It's this blue gasket right here. New tube seals. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up for the day. I was hoping to get it installed in the car today, but things took a little longer than expected. But yeah, got the valve covers swapped over, new valve cover gaskets, tube seals. Like I said before, I already did these head gaskets. It's about 2 years ago, and I think he put about 30,000 miles on it since then. And then timing belt, pulleys, all of that is solid. Put new spark plugs in, and then had to swap over the oil pan, regasketed that, put these motor mounts on. And then the only other thing I'm gonna do tomorrow is I have to swap out this flex plate and then put it in the car. All right, it's the next day, December 13th. Not feeling the greatest today, but still working. Got the flex plate swapped over. Got everything swapped over. Now we're gonna put it in the car. And then only thing that's left after that, it goes pretty quick from here. I already got the surface on the heads where the intake's gonna go on. Got that resurfaced. Just gotta resurface this, put some fresh gaskets in there. Radiator fans, those are over there. Intake, and then fill it up with oil and coolant. All right, I'm just gonna do the motor mounts. Those fell into place. 2 more bell housing bolts. Put the exhaust on, lower radiator hose, and then we'll be in business. All right, everything underneath is done. We got new exhaust gaskets in there. Exhaust manifolds bolted up. All right, it's the next day. Runs good. Got to bleed the coolant system. And then we got a tire pressure light on. We'll get that checked out, but all in all, runs pretty good. Gonna bleed the coolant system, and then we're gonna go take it for a test drive. All right, first test drive. That's just the tire light. Car's been sitting for a while, so the tires were just a little bit low. Aired them up, and then once you drive these a couple miles, it should go off. So far, so good. I reset the odometer from the time when everything's been done. Main things that we're looking for or listening for, making sure no check engine lights come on, making sure we don't hear any weird noises, or I'm gonna go take it on the interstate, because a lot of times when these things sit, the rear wheel bearings will go out. Other than that, so far, so good. Definitely gonna need some new windshield wiper blades, that's for sure. All right, we are back from our drive. Everything went smooth. We didn't hear any weird noises or anything. Gonna pull it back in the shop. We'll check the tranny fluid, front and rear diff, make sure all the lights are working, degrease the engine real good, and then might put some new front brake pads on it. Kind of heard some noise there. It could be from sitting. But once we get in the shop, check everything over, make sure it's good to go. But that's gonna be it for this video. All right, we got her back on the lift. Got the engine degreased this morning. I think I've driven it about 10 miles so far. No check engine lights, nothing like that. Put new front brake pads in it this morning that I already had in stock. Right now we're going to change the tranny fluid. That looks like it's about due, and then put new rear brake pads in it, and then obviously get it detailed, and then it'll be good to go. All right, that is all she wrote. Engine's installed, transmission fluid is flushed, front diff is flushed, rear diff, all new brake pads all the way around. Tomorrow we're gonna get a new windshield put in it. Today is December 18th, 2025, and then we'll get it detailed, and then that's it.